Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to another lecture. It is a question and answer session. A 32 years old motorcyclist is involved in a road traffic accident. His humerus is fractured and severely displaced. At the time of the surgical repair, the surgeon noted that the radial nerve have been injured. Which of the following muscle is least likely to be affected by an injury at this site? So after careful reading, now we have to find out the key points to answer the question here. So a 32 years old motorcyclist involved in road traffic accident, and humerus is fractured and severely displaced. At the time of surgical repair, surgeon noted that radial nerve has been injured. So this point is very important, that the radial nerve is injured during the road traffic accident of this patient. Which muscle is least likely affected by this injury? So least likely, that means which is not supplied by the radial nerve. So we have to find out the muscle below which is not supplied by the radial nerve. So for this, first we have to know details about the radial nerve. So here, first of all, let's see the answering option. Here the options: extensor carpiradialis brevis, brachioradialis, abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, and none of the above. So we have to find out one of the option which is not supplied by the radial nerve. So here we can see this is the radial nerve. It is root value is cervical 5, 6, 7, 8, and thoracic 1, and it is derived from the brachial plexus posterior cord. Here we can see this is the posterior cord, and the radial nerve is derived from the posterior cord with other four nerve. You can see three here and one here, and this radial nerve, it arises from this brachial plexus, and we can see here this is the radial nerve. You can see it is the lower triangular space. So through the lower triangular space, the radial nerve, it recesses in the posterior aspect of the upper part of the humerus. So the radial nerve, it passes through the posterior part. So this point is very important, that the radial nerve, it passes through the triangular space, and through the triangular space it reaches in the posterior part. So this radial nerve, it supplies all the muscles of the posterior aspect of the arm, forearm, and hand. So here we can see this is the lower triangular space, and with the profunda brachii, the radial nerve, it enters, and through the spiral groove between the two head of the triceps, so on is the medial and lateral head of triceps, it passes, and finally it goes. And in the third picture we can see this nerve, uh, this radial nerve, it also some part of it lies anterior in the cubital fossa, then it reaches in the posterior aspect of the forearm. So the all the muscles of the arm, forearm, and hand, they are supplied by this radial nerve. So this point is important. According to the course, we saw the all courses of the radial nerve, and now it is clear for us that the radial nerve, as it passes through the posterior aspect of the arm, forearm, and hand, or extensor aspect of the arm, forearm, and hand, so they supplies all the extensor group of the muscles. So here we can see this is mnemonics. Through this mnemonics we can easily remember the muscle nerve. So muscle supplied by the radial nerve, it is beast, beast, beast. B for brachioradialis, E for all extensor, that means the extensor of the arm, also extension of the forearm, and extensor of the hand. So these all extensor are supplied by this radial nerve. Then anconius, it is one of the muscle which present extensor aspect of the elbow joint. Then we can see here this is this S for supinator, and here this A, another A for abductor pollicis longus. So A for one anconius, and another A for abductor pollicis longus, or APL. So APL also supplied by the radial nerve. Then we can see the S for supinator and T for triceps. So again, beast, B for brachioradialis, E for all extensors of the arm, forearm, and hand. Then A for anconius and abductor pollicis longus, S for supinator, and T for triceps. So these muscles are supplied by the radial nerve, and these extensor, the extensor are a lot. We have to see the name of the extensor. So first of all, we can see the main motor nerve of the Medial nerve, it is supplied by the triceps anconeus brachioradialis extensor carpi radialis. So triceps anconeus brachioradialis and extensor carpi radialis. Then in the second one we can see the other motor branch. Actually this posterior interosseous nerve, it is branch of the radial nerve, and the motor branch, it is the main nerve. That means the from the main nerve, that means the from the main nerve of the radial nerve, they supplies in this, and the terminal branches, that means the posterior interosseous branch, it supplies this group of muscles, such as this is the supinator, and we can see the extensor group here. They are the extensor carpi ulnaris, extensor digitorum, extensor indicis, extensor digiti minimi, extensor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, and abductor pollicis longus. So here we can see all type of the extensor present, including the supinator muscle, which causes supination of the forearm, and we can see the abductor pollicis longus. So these A and S, that means the supinator and abductor pollicis longus, they also supplied by the posterior interosseous nerve, which is branch of the radial nerve, and all extensor group from here up to here, we can see these are the extensor group of muscle. So these extensor group are supplied by the radial nerve, and we can see some other, such as the triceps anconeus brachioradialis extensor carpi radialis. And here this group of the muscles, so it is the wall muscle we can see here, and this figure or this picture is taken from the knitter, so you can easily see it by opening the knitter. And here we can see some of the muscles, such as this is the anconeus, and here this is the supinator muscle. Here we can see this is the posterior interosseous nerve, and it supplies almost all of the all muscle of the extensor group. Here we can see the abductor pollicis longus, then extensor pollicis brevis, extensor carpi radialis brevis, extensor carpi radialis longus. So these are the extensor group of the muscle, including the supinator. Here we can see this is the supinator muscle, this one is the supinator muscle, and here we can see this is the anconeus. So all extensor with the anconeus and supinator, it is supplied by the radial nerve. And we can see the brachioradialis, and this is the abductor pollicis longus. So this point have to be remembered to answering the question. So here finally, here we can see that none of the above is not answered. So all the four muscles are supplied by the radial nerve, such as extensor carpi radialis brevis. So it is the extensor group, and all extensor group are supplied by the radial nerve. Then brachioradialis, it also supplied by the radial nerve. Then A for abductor pollicis longus, it is also supplied by the radial nerve. Extensor, as it is extensor, so first of all this two extensor is supplied by the radial nerve. Then two abductor pollicis longus and brachioradialis, we can see this is the abductor pollicis longus here, and this is the brachioradialis. So they also supplied by the radial nerve. And the mnemonic again, it is the BEAST, 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 B for brachioradialis, E for all extensors, A for abductor pollicis longus and anconeus, S for supinator, and T for triceps. So our final answer, none of the above, because all of the muscle are supplied by the radial nerve. Thank you all.